take some questions and find out if there's anything else we can help you with. Is the radio/modem type the same for all SkyBridge hotspots? That is a very good question. It's going to be the same on the modern SkyBridges. If you have one of the older little small SkyBridges, the original SkyBridge, that modem type might be different. Definitely, if you're concerned about that, you should be able to just try it. But definitely give us a call and we'll get you the answer for that if you need it. But all the modern SkyBridges, they're going to be the same. Let's see, Jesse asks, is the Anytone 878 really worth it? I've seen good and bad reviews. For example, I've seen videos where it can take minutes compared to seconds to get a GPS lock. So that's a good question. I really like my 878 UV2. I've taken this thing all over the country. It works great. You know, there's going to be times when you can and can't get a GPS lock. I've been successful getting the GPS lock almost everywhere with it. You know, give or take on that. But the great part about this radio is it's so easy to use with all of the different networks with DMR, Brandmeister, and you can do so much with it. Like I have all the railroad frequencies in mind because I like to scan them. I can put the NOAA weather channels in. I can have everything organized well, nice big screen to see. And you get Bridgecom University with it, which is a $97 value of training videos that actually show you how to do it. I don't know how many different radios I bought that end up sitting on a shelf because I just never figured out how to use them. I even have a few at home right now that are like that. That's the great part with the Anytones. All of that information actually comes with the radio. So not only do you get it, you learn how to use it too. So for me, this is by far my favorite radio. Awesome. Sam, WS4BSA. Awesome. Good to see you, Sam. I believe Sam was on the stream once. He volunteered for something. I think we built Sam a code plug, if I recall. Correct me if I'm wrong, but good to see you back. What booth will you be at in Orlando, he asks. Man, I wish I knew the answer to that. We will find out and post that in the chat. That is a great question. One of the guys will let you know for sure. Absolutely. I'm excited to see you there. Awesome. Next question. Let's see. Looks like Jesse again. Anyone use their 878 for analog as well as DMR? If so, how is the analog compared to other radios? That's a good question. The analog on this works really well. In fact, I like playing around with DMR, but a lot of what I do out in the field is analog. And the analog works really well on the radio. You can adjust. You will want to probably go in and turn your squelch all the way down for analog use. At least for what I do, that's typically how I run with it. But once you do that, the analog works great. It's super clear. It transmits a long way if you need to transmit. I've had really good luck with the analog operation. The cool part about it is you can add everything from the front panel. As I know for me, when I'm out in the field, a lot of times I want to add something or program a new frequency. And some radios, that's really difficult. On this, it's super simple to go in and do it. And then if you want to save your channel, it's even more simple. You just click save and give it a name. Awesome. Another question here from Dan. Cody, are there any limitations on how far this would work, i.e. statewide or East Coast wide, etc.? Awesome. So I am assuming you're talking about what we did here today, and that's a fantastic question. There are not any limits. In fact, what we did today will work all the way around the world. So you could have buddies in Germany and in China, in the United States, in Canada, anywhere in the world or anywhere else I did not mention, and you'll be able to talk to them. So as long as they can get access to either a repeater with that supports Brandmeister and is open, or a digital hotspot, you'll be able to do that with them. Absolutely. Let's see, we have another question here. On your HT, did you make that call sign label that is covering the Anytone label? Oh, that's a great question. I think, yeah, we're just using, like I said, we shipped all of our main radios down to Orlando, so we scrounged up some in the shop. This is one of my radios here. You can actually get one of these. There's a gentleman, I believe his call sign is KC8GL. That's Kilo Charlie 8 Golf Lima. actually makes these. So those are custom made. You can order one from your radio from him. He's a great guy. Definitely check it out. And I believe he'll make them for the different radios, the 878, the 578. So you can get one set up for all your radios. Let's see here. Kenny asks, what is the best aftermarket antenna that works on the 878? Great question. We typically like the Nagoya antennas if you're talking about one that actually is going to go on the radio. From my experience, if you're wanting to see better range, I'd typically go with a bigger one. So I would go with like a 771 or a 320A. The 320A makes a pretty big difference. I've been able to receive NOAA weather stations much further away than with the stock size antenna. But that will be my recommendation. If you're going to go with one, I'd probably go ahead and get you a bigger one. Or probably I'd recommend doing both of these. If you use your radio in your car at all, definitely get you the mag mount antenna, the BCA300. I have one of them. I use it quite a bit whenever I'm out, especially in storms, bad weather. You know, it's great if you're not taking out all of your gear, if you just want to hop in the car, but you want to have that antenna. It's real kind of small, throws on there easy, and will fit under most things, so you don't have to worry about it. And it doesn't fly off. So that antenna has been fantastic to work with this radio. Let's see, we have another question here. Is Bridgecom going to be making anything like the Open Spot 3 Shark RF? Yeah, so I'm not 100% familiar with the Shark or the Open Spot 3, but the SkyBridge will do pretty much everything you'll need to do with DMR. And the cool part with the SkyBridge is it's got this big old screen on it, so you can see everything. You can see, you know, how to sign into it. You can even see the country flag of who you're talking to, which is really neat with the SkyBridge. A lot of hotspots, you're not going to be able to see that. So definitely, I really like the SkyBridge. Lots of options out there, but with the SkyBridge, you get all the extra features. You can cross mode to just about any network. And with the SkyBridge, you'll get access to Bridgecom University. So you'll have videos specific for it that show you absolutely everything you need to know about how to use it. Let's see, another question here. Bob asks, when I got my SkyBridge, my DMR ID was configured, but I have read that hotspot ID should end with 01. We should modify the SkyBridge ID, or isn't that really important to do? Okay, yeah, so great question. If you have multiple hotspots set up, you may want to add an 01 to the end of your ID, and that will just make it work on multiple hotspots, as opposed to having it just on one. You know, if you're using them at the same time, you may want to do that. If it's just your first hotspot, don't even worry about it. Not necessary. Awesome. We'll do some more questions here. Make sure you've entered that giveaway. We're going to be drawing the winner soon. So. And just out of curiosity, post in the chat how many of you folks will actually be at Hamcation. We'd love to meet you, maybe take some pictures. I'll be there. We could even potentially do some interviews. So let's see how many people are going to be there. Okay, yeah, Sam, WS4BSA again, asks, can I remove the stock antenna on my SkyBridge and connect to my external 2-meter, 70-centimeter Slimgen antenna outside my house? Will this increase the range? Great question, Sam. Absolutely. Don't think I have one here. Nope, don't have one here, but we make a little pigtail that will allow you to screw that onto your radio and then connect to a standard like UHF connector for a bigger antenna. So you can totally do that. In fact, I do that quite a bit here. We have an antenna just outside on the roof because we're a little bit far away, and in the studio, we don't get great reception 100% of the time with just a standard antenna. So we just plug this in. You may have seen me use it in the videos before. Great idea, absolutely. Awesome, any more questions here before we draw the winner? Give it a few more seconds here. And, oh, here we go. Here's another question here. How long does the battery last? That's a really good question. A lot of radios that can be a big concern. You know, how long is the battery going to last? Because if you're out and about, the last thing you want is to have your communication form, the one communication form you're relying on, have your battery go dead. So with these radios, they come with a 3,300 milliamp hour battery, so that's, you know, bigger than a lot of cell phones, and it's just, you know, operating a radio, not a big old cell phone screen. So this typically lasts, you know, for me, with the amount I use mine, I charge it maybe every 2 weeks, and I use it, you know, a fair amount. If you don't use it much at all, you probably go a month or more without trouble. If you use it all the time, I bet you'd still get a week out of it. The battery life is fantastic on it, you know, and if you're running like an event, if you're going to be using it all day, you're still going to have probably a day or maybe 3 days of constant use out of it. The battery life on these has been absolutely fantastic. Anything in the works? Yeah, Chuck asks, anything in the works for a 40 to 50 watt GMRS mobile? Great question, Chuck. Yeah, so we actually just came out with the GMRS Echo, the Bridgecom Echo radio for GMRS, and we'll see. I don't have any current plans, but we'd love to see a mobile come down the road from Bridgecom, so maybe we'll see that in the future. Stay tuned. Awesome. Let's see. Another question. Michael asks, will people be able to access the talk group through regular repeaters? Wouldn't this require the repeater bridge connections to be configured to allow it? Great question, Michael. So I believe your DMR repeater, if it's set up for the Brandmeister network and it doesn't have any limitations set on, so some actually limit you on what talk groups you can talk on. If there's no limitations, you should be able to do it. But I know a lot of the repeaters, they've limited what you can talk on, so you just have to try it on your own local repeater to find out if it'll work in your area, but you may be able to. Josh asks, can the Super/Ultra code plug be used for any DMR radio? Yeah, fantastic question. So the Ultra code plug or the Super code plug, it's designed for the Anytone 878 series, and it will work great with that, and for the SkyBridge. It's completely plug and play that way. You basically put the code plug in your radio, turn on your SkyBridge, add your credentials, and you're rocking and rolling. Now, if you wanted to use it with a different radio, if it's the DMR radio, you could totally do that. You would just have to, you know, import it and then export it into the, you know, whatever format you need to export it into. So you probably have to modify it a little bit, but you could totally, you know, take all of the information from it. Absolutely. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you learned something from today's video. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell next to it to make sure you don't miss out on any more great content. That's all I have for you today. I'm Cody, W3AMG 73.